Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dania, and for today's video I will actually be sharing with you guys this look that we created with some of the Wet n Wild products and some other products as well, very affordable. And this is more of like a prom makeup look, since prom season is approaching. So yeah, if you guys are interested and want to recreate this look or would like to see what products I used, definitely keep on watching. Before we start with the video, I want to quickly remind you to subscribe, ring the bell, click the like button. You can also find me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Life Makeup Talk. And without further ado, let's just get started. So I'm going to start by priming my face, and since I don't have any of the affordable from e.l.f., I will be using the No POREblem primer by Touch in Soul. And this is, I wanted to buy the For Sally blurring primer, I believe it's called, and it just I think it's too expensive, number one, and number two, I had this one in my BoxyCharm a few months back, so why spend money when I have this one and I can use it, and it really does work for me. So I will start by doing this. Of course, I already took care of my face. I shaved my face with the little tool for the face, and I also applied a mask. For that I used the L'Oreal clay mask, the kind of pink red one, and I scrubbed that. When you wash it off, you have to do circular motions to kind of exfoliate the skin, so make sure you do that. I would recommend as well to apply a moisturizing mask the night before, and also do some, like, if you tan, they'll do the tanning a day before. Your nails, of course, get them a day before. Everything that you can do before that will lesser the stress, your stress on the very day of the event. You'll want to do it prior to, so just make sure you have everything ready for when you sit and do your own makeup, or for when the person that is going to do your makeup is there for you, such as your eyebrows, your nails, your tanning. So I'm going to start priming the eyelids with a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium, which is this one that I have been using, because I don't have any other affordable primer for the eyes. I also use the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, but for the purposes of this video I will use just concealer, and you can do the same. And you can either seal it or not with some translucent powder. I have lately decided not to, just because it gives the eyeshadows a whole other level of pigmentation. So for this tutorial we're going to be using the Mythicool Creatures by Wet n Wild. This is the little quad, and I believe this retails for about $4, if I'm not wrong. And we're basically going to follow the instructions that come on the quad, which is this one, you apply it on the brow bone, this is a transition shade, this is for the crease, and this is for the eyelid. So that's what we're going to do, exactly like it says it. I personally think they are beautiful colors, and I will do some swatches for you right now. And here is what they look like swatched on my hand. It's this one is for the brow bone, this one is a transition shade, this one is for the crease, and last but not least we have the one that goes on the eyelid. So we're gonna try and work with that, because this tutorial, it's gonna be kind of very affordable, except for the concealer and the setting powder. So yeah, let's just start. For brushes, I believe that as long as they are good quality, you can really work with any brush that you own. So for that, I'm going to start with the brow bone shade, and I will be using the Wet n Wild that came in the set that I bought a few months back. So for that, we're gonna just grab a little bit and tap off the excess. And I will jump onto my Morphe 505. I believe this is a blending brush, and I will jump onto the shade Transition, which is this color right here, the one that says Transition, and we're gonna start. And now we're gonna jump onto the blue shade. None of them have names. At least I don't see any names on this palette. But we're gonna jump onto the blue one, which is this one for the crease. And for that, I will be using the Sigma Diffused Crease E38, which is a little bit like this. I wanted it small, but at the same time that it's gonna blend the shade, because remember we didn't set the concealer, so we don't want to mess up with the harsh lines or hyperpigmentation of the shadow and then not being able to fix it. So we're gonna start doing that. And now we're gonna quickly go back to the Transition shade and try to blend everything together. And now we just need to apply the last shade, which is this purple one. I believe I saw a photo, I will insert it somewhere on the screen, that it's compared to a MAC shade, MAC shadow. So yeah, definitely check this out. It's got super great pigmentation and the colors are gorgeous. I'm going to just finish the eyelid real quick and I will show you here in a minute. So I'm actually going to take that shade with my finger, and that's going to be this finger. I don't have nails anymore, so that's going to be a little bit easier. So what I just ended up doing was actually applying the blue shade on the eyelid and patting the other shade that goes on the eyelid on top of that one, just because I felt like it wasn't showing up enough. So this is what we have so far. I will finish the rest of the face. I will be right back to show you what I will be using for the face. And yeah. And so now for foundation, we actually have two options, but since I used the Wet n Wild shadows, I will be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. You have to make sure that your foundation doesn't have SPF, since that's going to cause a flashback on your photos, and you don't want to look white on your photos. And we also have the Milani one. Both of them are full coverage and super good foundations. You just have to make sure you set them up with a good setting powder, and or make sure you're really doing a good job at baking, just because you don't want to look either cakey or too oily in your photos or with your friends partying. So let's just start applying the foundation. And yes, I know I look very white right now, but we're gonna fix that. The foundation, it is my shade, it's just the lights are playing a big role in this video. So for concealer, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's not gonna be an affordable one. You could use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer, but I would recommend you use a full coverage. It doesn't have to be high-end, but you have to really make sure that you know how to work it and how it works. So for that, I'm going to be using the Shape Tape by Tarte in the shade Medium. And if you have problem areas for like creasing, like the smile lines or like the sides of the nose where the product tends to concentrate in there, just make sure you put a little bit of concealer in there too, and then we'll set it with some setting powder. Now for the contour bronzing, we're going to be using the NYX Wonder Stick in the shade Deep, and I will use the darker side, which is for the contour, and just quickly go onto what I always do. So once we have this done, we're gonna jump onto setting it with a setting powder, and for that I'm gonna be using my Mercier translucent powder. I think for this type of makeup that it's meant to last a lot longer. You probably want to do, depending on your skin type, you may want to do about 10 minutes of baking, just so everything sets right in place and you are not oily or extra cakey or extra drying during your event. Okay, so now that we are done with the baking, we're gonna finish the eyes, and I'm going to quickly grab the transition shade, literally the one that says transition. Tap off the excess, and with the same brush, just go under. I am quickly going to reapply the brow bone shade. That same shade, we're going to try to apply it on the inner corner. Going back to the lower lash line with the same shade, the blue one, we're going to grab the same brush and quickly apply that on the lower lash line. Now we're on to the face products, and for bronzing I'm going to be using the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and this is in the shade Deep Bronzer, and I will grab a brush more or less like this. It's gonna be fluffy, and I'm just gonna do what I normally do. Now for blush, we have quite a few options. We have the Ulta Beauty Mineral Blush in the shade Cosmo, which is this more like pink coral shade. And I also have this Catrice Strobing Blush in the shade Mrs. Rosalie Berry 020. This is what it looks like. And I also have the e.l.f. Quad Blush Palette, and this is in the shade Light, and I think I'm gonna go for a corally one, which is this one right here, on the e.l.f. palette, and I will just quickly apply that on my cheeks. For highlight, you can use any of the Wet n Wild highlighters. They are pretty good, they are pretty good quality. They work like magic, and so I would recommend those. I haven't tried any other that is not the BECCA that I use, so I wouldn't know what to recommend as far as high-end, but yeah, you can use the Wet n Wild ones. I will quickly do my brows off camera just because it takes me a little bit of time, and I don't want to do it on camera, but do your eyebrows like you usually do them, with a pomade, with a pencil, with just a gel on top. Whatever you do, it's gonna be fine. For my lips, I will be using the gel lip liner by Wet n Wild in the shade Lay Down the Mauves 661D, which is this one. This is what the color looks like right here. So I'm gonna line my lips real quick, and we'll jump onto lipstick. And now for lipstick, I will be using this L'Oreal Two Steps lipstick. I believe this is the one that you apply first, because it's number 1, and then after you wait for it to dry, you apply the second step, which is this one, and that will prevent from your lipstick to be transferring to your glass or to your napkin or to your food, and it will truly stay on your lips for a very, very long time until you decide to take it off. So let me show you real quick how I'm going to apply it, and we'll be soon done with the face. I will jump onto doing my hair, and I will be right back to show you the final look. Now we just have to wait for it to dry, and it's gonna get a little bit sticky on your lips, so I do not recommend that you're talking or drinking or eating while waiting for the lipstick to dry. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes and we should be applying step number 2. So let me real quick work on my hair. I will be giving you all the details of the tools I will be using doing my hair, and also all the lashes, because I will be back to finish this video in a little bit, and I will see you here in a second. And so here we have the finished look. For my hair, I used this tool right here. This retails on Amazon for like $20, I believe, with free shipping for Prime members. I got this one because Tarte said that it works like magic, and it does really do that. So yeah, that's how I did my hair today. This time my hair may look a little bit, I will insert when I use this tool on the screen somewhere, but yeah, that's what I used. And what happened is I applied way too much heat protection spray, and that's why my hair looks a little bit oily and dirty. So yeah, that's what happened. I applied some lashes. The lashes I used today were the Kiss in the style 11, which is this one right here. This one applied a little bit off, and it's kind of coming off, but you can't see it. It kind of grabbed onto my real lash, so I messed that up. But yeah, here's how the face is looking. Everything we used was very, very affordable. Everything that I showed you guys, except for the concealer, the brushes, and the setting powder. Everything, I believe everything is under $30 or $25 or under. So yeah, this is the finished look, the hair, the eyes, the lips, and everything else. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, click the like button. You can also find me on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Life Makeup Talk, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.